Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us once again for another update on New York State's unemployment insurance system. Since we last spoke, the federal government has released additional data on unemployment claims. And since the beginning of the COVID-19 pandemic, more than 36 million Americans have filed for unemployment insurance. Every state across the nation is facing an unprecedented deluge of unemployment insurance claims, and states continue to struggle under the weight of this crisis. In New York, we have taken decisive and quick action, and we are processing applications and delivering money faster than in any other state in the country. As of today, we have processed applications for unemployment benefits from more than 2 million New Yorkers since the beginning of the coronavirus pandemic. And in just 2.5 months, we have paid out approximately $9.2 billion in benefits. That means we've paid approximately $836 million per week, or about $5 million per hour, since the beginning of March. To break this down another way, the Department of Labor paid $2.1 billion in benefits in total last year. So we have now paid nearly 4.5 years worth of benefits in a matter of 2.5 months. I also want to give you an update on our new streamlined back certification system. As many of you may remember, earlier this month, we announced that the Department of Labor had identified nearly 500,000 New Yorkers who were receiving benefits but had not submitted federally required certifications in past weeks. Because these individuals had not submitted their certifications, they'd missed out on previous week's benefits, effectively leaving hundreds of millions of dollars on the table. In the past, we could only take backdated certifications over the phone with a live DOL representative, but we knew that that was not feasible for hundreds of thousands of New Yorkers. So we launched a new online system that leverages DocuSign's secure technology to accept and process prior week's certifications more easily and get money into New Yorkers' hands faster. In less than 2 weeks of operation, this new system has connected nearly 180,000 New Yorkers with approximately $290 million in benefits. That is a massive number. And we will continue to use this new system to ensure New Yorkers receive every dollar that they are eligible for. Last, before we get to questions, I want to address the quote-unquote backlog that we are asked about on every press call. As I previously explained, this number can be misleading because the count of applications that have not yet been processed includes duplicates, applications that were abandoned, and applications that only contain partial information. Some of these applications will never be processed, especially if we are unable to contact the New Yorker who submitted it. In other words, the data is not straightforward. But I know that many New Yorkers have been waiting weeks to receive their benefits, and people want to know what this backlog number is. I also trust members of the media will report this number responsibly, explaining exactly what it captures and why the data may not be informative. So, over the weekend, we looked at the universe of applications that were submitted more than 3 weeks ago. In total, approximately 1.2 million applications that were submitted between March 2nd and April 22nd have been approved and are now payable claims. That means those New Yorkers can receive their benefits as long as they submit federally required certifications every week. Another 50,000 from that time period have been processed and are not eligible for traditional unemployment insurance. We have contacted all of these New Yorkers to give them information on how to apply for pandemic unemployment assistance. And roughly 16,000 are either going through final processing and should be payable soon, or we need additional information to complete processing. We have been reaching out to these individuals if we need additional information to complete their claim, and we will continue to try contacting them. It's important to note that many of the claims in this group need additional information to verify the claimant's identity or wages to prevent fraud. We've always had stringent fraud deterrence in our system, and as recent press reports have made clear, there are criminal groups actively trying to defraud states' unemployment systems during this crisis. So we will continue to process those claims as quickly as we can, while ensuring funds only go to real New Yorkers with legitimate claims. And finally, there are at least 23,000 applications from that time period that we have not been able to begin processing yet because they are missing critical information, maybe duplicates of applications that have already been processed, or are applications that New Yorkers began to fill out and abandoned. We've been trying to contact the individuals who submitted these applications but have not been able to get in touch. So we will continue trying to reach them to complete their applications so that they can receive any benefits to which they are entitled. I also want to note that the majority of the partial claims we have received during this crisis are missing Federal Employer Identification Numbers, or FEINs, for the applicant's former employer. Companies in New York have a legal obligation to provide workers they lay off with all of the information needed to apply for unemployment benefits, including their FEIN. We've issued a directive reminding businesses of this obligation, and we hope you can help us spread the message that New Yorkers can find this number on their W-2 form as well. We've also launched a new system to better communicate with New Yorkers about the status of their claim, using text messages and emails to let applicants know when we've received their application, when it is being processed, and when it is complete and payable. Thousands of these messages are being sent every day as folks move through the system so they can track their progress of their claim and understand what the next steps are. Finally, I want to say that all of these numbers are heartbreaking. $9.2 billion paid in just 2.5 months is good because it means millions of unemployed New Yorkers are getting support, but it also means that millions of New Yorkers are unemployed. These numbers also represent the Herculean work that DOL representatives have done in recent weeks to get New Yorkers their benefits. And I want to once again thank everyone on our team for the long days that they have put in to help their fellow New Yorkers.